Let us start. Let us chant Omkar together. Om. 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha. Shruti Smruti, Purananam, Alayam, Karunalayam, Namami, Bhagavatpadam, Shankaram, Lokashankaram. Let us chant the Shanti mantra for Kathopanishad. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunattu, Sahaviryam, Karavavahai, Tejasvina, Vatita, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. My pranams to all. Slowly open your eyes. Continuing the Kathopanishad. Today we'll take up. So in the previous session, we took up shloka number 1 to 11, where there's the story of Nachiketa and his father, who is doing the Vishwajit Yajna. And Nachiketa dies and to Lord Yama. Then Lord Yama is pleased with the boy, and also he has kept the boy waiting for 3 days as a guest, a Brahmin boy as a guest for 3 days. So he wants to compensate. He wants to make up for his mistakes. So he gives him 3 wishes. And Nachiketa asks the first wish, which is for his father, that he needs to be revived and meet his father, and that his father should receive him happily. So this was what we discussed in the first session. So any questions so far? Today we'll continue with the second boon. What does the child ask? What is the next boon that he's asking? The next boon is, so Yama confirms after the first boon. Lord Yama says, I promise you, your wish is granted. When you go back, until you go back, your father will have a restful sleep. He'll be at peace. And once you go back, your father will embrace you. And whatever you have asked for, that will be fulfilled. Now, the second boon, Nachiketa starts. Now the scope is bigger. First, it was personal. First, it was a dharmic boon. It was, he has a responsibility as a son. And as a son, against his father, for his father, he's asked a boon. So he's fulfilled his dharma as a son. Now, the second boon he's asking is, Lord Yama, I have heard there is a place called Swargaloka. So there is a realm after death, wherein in this realm there is no old age, there is no disease, there is no death. Even you are not allowed there. Okay, and it is for a very very long time, and there are a lot of enjoyments there. It is a divine and heavenly place, and the time span is very long. It's filled with enjoyments, no suffering. There's no suffering in that place. I want, so teach me or tell me the secret of how do I get there. And particularly he asks, what is the fire worship, fire practice, the uh, the yagna, the fire based yagna, doing which I will get this kind of a place. Okay. So is the second boon clear? I want to, after death, so life he is covered. Life is with his father, peace and joy and happiness. Now, after death, I want to go to Swarga. So, a few clarifications here. Many religions talk about heaven. Okay. So, that is called, there is heaven and hell. There is Swarga and there is Naraka. So, Swarga is typically a heaven, which is uh, like a fairy tale, and there's joy and there's beautiful people and there's eternal youth and their enjoyments. Every day is enjoyment. There's no suffering. When somebody does good punya, good karma, and enough good karma in this life, so after death, there is a account. So everything is mathematics. In the mathematics of universe, in your uh, side of the sheet, you have, let's say, punya. If you have punya, that has to be now reconciled, appropriated. And something, so what is something is given to you in exchange for that? What is given to you in exchange for that is heaven, Swarga Loka. But it is like how if you go to some tourist place, right? You get a ticket, you go you go into the fair or you go into the world that is created, but there's an exit. There's an expiry date. You can't perpetually be there. Okay. So if you have bought even the most expensive ticket, it there's a duration and you complete that and you come out of it. Similarly, you go to this heaven, you enjoy as much as your punya allows. So you are transacting your currency called punya for some experience. Once your currency is over, you come back to Bhuloka. Okay. Same thing with Naraka, hell. So let's say you've troubled people, you've caused trouble in life. Then you have a Papa account. To complete that, you go experience whatever you have created. Once that is done, you come back to Bhuloka. The Swarga that Nachiketa is asking is not this Swarga. For many, many religions, this heaven that I just told about is the highest aspiration. Okay. In fact, you see that there's a school of thought that says we don't care about this world at all, this life. We are only aspiring for the afterlife. There, I will get many enjoyments. That is what I want. And to get there, what should I do? I should follow certain commandments. I should follow certain instructions. Now, those instructions could be that I have to destroy somebody else's life. And people do that. Okay. To get to some place where you have, on which you don't have any understanding of, you have never seen it. Neither do you know anything about its reality. Right? There are some assumptions made, and you are going in the direction. Now, these realizations, this understanding, then there is a realization. So the rishis or mahatmas or a gnani or enlightened one For example, in tradition of Buddhism, Jainism, or Sanatana Dharma, the wisdom is trickling down from a drishta. Drishta means somebody who's become free from programs. Okay. The first criteria is somebody's become free from programs. Mind has become deeply silent. Mind has become purified. Then there is a receiving of divine intuition. And that is what we call as, these people we call as rishis or drishtas. They are able to give insights into the life beyond the life that you know of the sense organs. And this matches with your understanding of your day-to-day life with waking, dreaming, and deep sleep state, and the Vedas and the Shastras. So there are multiple checks that are in place. So here, when Nachiketa is asking for Swarga, he is not asking for heaven. He is asking for a much higher loka. It's called Brahma Loka. So Brahma Loka is the highest realm. Okay. In this highest realm, there is no disease, no suffering, no death in this realm. And it's a very long life, very blissful life. Now, to get to Brahmaloka, punya is not enough. Okay? Punya will get to heaven. To get to Brahmaloka, you have to have satkarma. Meaning you have to have done yagna, dana, tapas, okay, bhakti, then upasana. So you have moved in a satkarma, which is not punya karma. Punya karma is, let's say, charity. Charity is punya karma. Yagna is satkarma. Okay, where, so in the previous session, I told you what is the difference between yagna and dana. So somebody who has done spiritual practices, who's on the spiritual path, who's done yagna, who's done shravana, manana, nidhyasa, okay, has not got gnana. That person has a possibility to go to Brahmaloka. And to go to Brahmaloka, Nachiketa is asking, how do I get there? Give me a easy way. And the way he's asking is very specific. What kind of fire worship should I do to get to Brahmaloka? Okay. Is the question clear? Is the Boon clear? What Nachiketa asked? So give me a way to go to Brahmaloka and tell me the secrets of Brahmaloka. Just a moment. Okay. So how many of you understand workflows? Understand? Right? Panaj, you understand workflow? So wherever you work, in any industry, in any workplace, if it is big enough, if it has scale, like there's a big scale production have both like a big production, mass production, or software, hardware, okay, or medical industry where you are working part of a big hospital, right? There are lot of processes and documents and workflows, correct? Procedures, rules, regulations, right? And all of that. So when you join, for example, first time you join, you go through something called as induction. Have you all gone through induction where somebody introduces you? Okay, what is the hierarchy? Who's the boss? Who's your reporting manager? Then what are your roles and responsibility? Where can you find the relevant documentation? And all these documents are very technical, right? So have you all seen technical documents? They're very detailed. From A to Z, everything is detailed, explained. Then maybe there are some supporting videos where you watch to learn, right? How things work, how you should go about it. So there is a technical documentation, there is a functional documentation, how things function, right? On the operation of this organization to produce some output at scale. Correct? Similarly, the whole universe is a big organization. It's a very massive organization. And there is a CEO or a Lord, that's Ishvara. Then there are so many beings called Devatas who take care of, there are various forces in nature who take care of operation of the nature. Then there are destructive forces called Asuras who make sure that destruction happens. Okay. Now, all of this, then there are so many macroscopic entities like the solar system, gravity, sun, stars, planets. Then there are galaxies. Then there are mountains in the planet. There's water, the Panchabhutas, right? So universe is, then there's Panchabhutas, space, earth, water, air, fire. Now, where is the documentation for all this? If a system is created, there's a documentation created to understand how this works. Okay, so that anybody who comes into it, either it can be recreated or the wisdom is passed on. Right? So universe is a very complex organization. Is the question clear? Prithvi? Is it? So where is the documentation for this?
Puranas.
The documentation is called Vedas. Okay. And the documentation is typically created by the business owners, right? And then outsource, somebody is given the responsibility to do that. So Ishvara himself, Lord himself, passes on the documentation, and that document is called Vedas. And that's why the Vedas are called Apaurushaya. They are not from a human mind. They are from the mind of Ishvaras, universal consciousness. They're not from individual consciousness. Okay? They are from a universal consciousness, directly appearing through maybe an individual drishta. So the rishis are somebody who receive this wisdom from the universal being directly. So Vedas are exist in the universe as a part of the creation, as the blueprint, as the workflow document, technical document for the creation. And they're highly technical. And there are three sections in the Vedas. So one is called Brahmana, which is the Karma Kanda. The second is called Aranyaka, which is the Upasana Kanda. The third is called Vedanta or Upanishad or Gnana Kanda, which is the Vedanta, third part, last part. Okay, so now we are taking up the third part, which is Kathopanishad, third part. The Karma Kanda is the biggest, the first part of the Vedas. So the Karma Kanda talks about very, very detailed rituals, how to perform certain actions, rituals to get certain result. Okay. Now it is so complex that it's very rare to find somebody who understands the processes. For example, let's say we all have workflows. But there's a workflow to a t-shirt factory. Okay, versus there's a workflow in a rocket factory. Okay, so workflow in a t-shirt factory is somebody should have understanding of cloth, dye, and print. Correct. Workflow in a rocket factory, that person should have to understand the document itself. They need PhD, right? To understand how to work there, you need to have a high specialization, many years of education, just to be able to understand how to navigate to the document. In the same way, the Vedas are at that caliber. There are the hidden secrets of the universe in these in the Vedas. Okay. There are not a very handful of people in the world who understand them, who can understand them, and who can unlock them. So many technologies in the Vedas are not available to us right now. So we are in Kali Yuga. So there are many yugas, 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. In the other yugas, for example, in the Vedic period, the Satya Yuga, there was no worship of, let's say, idols. Okay, the worship there was to the fire. The fire was the pratika. It's called pratika upasana. Pratika means representation. So you can think of it as a flag. There's a national flag. The national flag is not the nation, but it represents the nation. Okay, in the same way, the fire is worshipped as a representation of Brahman, the supreme reality. Is it clear? And there's a technology, there's a way of doing it wherein if you do it in a certain way, it gives a certain result. So doing the fire worship in a certain way, and to do that also you need a very qualified, it's called a ritvik, the one who is able to do it. So I'll give you an example, story of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, one day, a lady came to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. She told that my son is eating too much sweets. Okay, at this rate, he will get disease. Please ask him to stop eating sweets. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa told, okay, you come after 1 week. So 1 week later, the mother brings the child, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa tells, don't eat sweets, don't eat too much sweets, it's not good for you. Then the child says, okay, I will not eat because you have told. Then the mother asks, you could have told this that day. Why did you make me come after 1 week? Just for this, I have to come after 1 week. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, for 1 week, I myself stopped eating sweets. I went on a disciplinary mode. And after 1 week, now when I say don't eat sweet, my words have power. Okay, I myself needed to bring that correction in my life. So I took that time of 1 week. Ritvik, or it's a role called Ritvik, these people who chant the Vedas, who study the Vedas from a very young age, are living such a lifestyle. Now, Ramakrishna did it for 7 days. These people have possibly done it for multiple lifetimes. Okay, lifetimes of purity, lifetimes of living in a certain way, and even in this current lifetime, living under very strict code of conduct, waking up at a certain time, doing certain rituals, okay, not uttering certain words because they are because they because of chanting the Vedas, they get the power to vakshuddhi. That means if they say something, there's a possibility it can become true. So they are very mindful of what they speak also. They don't just arbitrarily talk, have casual discussions. Okay, the way they sit, the way they stand, so that is a science in itself, and that's a way of life. Now that way of life, it's very hard to find in the modern life right now, simply because of the destruction that ecosystem went through. Okay, there was an entire ecosystem, let's say, for example, in Kashmir, where there were such Ritviks, great people, dedicated the entire life to study and practice of such Vedic way of life. Okay. Now it is to find that is very hard. So if there is a good Ritvik, very profound person who is able to chant and whose life matches that way of life, that person can tap into the potential of the Vedas. Okay. It's not that anybody can arbitrarily chant some mantra and get it. No. First, it's a way of life. You have to have the way of life. then have the understanding of the Veda mantras, then chant them in a certain way. There's a way to chant them also. Okay? Time to chant them. And when you do that, you're able to unlock and please the Lord through the fire worship and get the boons and the blessing. Is this part clear? Now, this was also used in you have seen in the Mahabharata TV serial, if you have watched, right? The armies are fighting, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. And the Pandavas and the Kauravas, they hold the arrow and they chant a mantra. And then to shoot the arrow, then the arrow becomes magical arrow. Okay? So that is a modern representation. But in reality, what they're doing is a simple object they are converting into a weapon by the Vedic process. So a ordinary astra, they're making it to a brahmastra. And that is a potential. And that's what even scientists do, right? What is the atom bomb? It is the same thing, but they're doing with research and experiment. Here, somebody is doing unlocking the potential of an object with mantra shakti, which is divine instruction. Okay. And there is a process and there's a possibility. So this is the Vedas. So what is the Vedas is clear. It is no ordinary text. There is nothing in the universe you can compare to Vedas. Because the Vedas are the direct documentation from the Lord. Okay. Now here, Nachiketa is asking, please tell me what kind of fire worship I should do to get the Brahmaloka, which is part of the Vedas, which is part of the Karma Kanda in the Vedas. Now, to make this happen, a certain kind of fire has to be invoked. There's a process of doing it, which is so what kind of bricks to be used, how the bricks have to be kept. So now Lord Yama starts explaining the process. This is the kind of brick you need to use. This is how you should keep things. These are all the ingredients you need. Okay, this is the fire that needs to be lit. This is the mantra that needs to be chanted. And when you do this, you will, if you're able to do it in the right way, you will get the Brahmaloka. At the same time, there's also a condition. It is not just the ritual, not just the karma kanda. You also need to do upasana. So it is karma plus upasana together gives the phala, which is whatever what your boon you're asking for. So you need to do the process in a certain way. At the same time, you need to have the understanding behind it. So I'll tell you what is upasana and what is the significance of that. First, the process is physical, karma, with the holy fire. Okay. Now everybody understand the significance of holy fire? The fire is not ordinary. It is a pratika. It is Brahmagni. It is Lord that is represented as the fire. Because whatever you offer in the fire, it is doing two things. One is, first, the fire is Pratyaksha Brahma. Okay. In the olden days, for everything you need fire. The whole world operates because of sun, the fire. Then to cook, you need fire. To survive, to eat food, you need fire. To digest the food, you need fire, internal fire, digestive fire. Okay. For anything in life, for life to proceed, you need fire. So fire is a very essential element in our life. Now that fire, when invoked with devotion and reverence, becomes a holy fire or Vedic fire. So when people get married, when there's some auspicious occasion, so there is a Havan or Homa done, where where the Ritviks are invoking the holy fire. In the holy fire, you're offering Swaha, Swaha, you're offering many things. That offering, the fire consumes it, and the scriptures say that whatever is offered in the fire becomes Havis. Havis means it is transformed into a offering for the higher level beings. So the higher level beings who are operating the universe, they rely upon the harvest of the fire. So that is the significance of the fire. The fire worship is not, you're not worshipping an element or an object. You're invoking, like how when somebody salutes the flag, the salute is done for what the flag represents. In the same way, the fire worship is worship of Brahman. Is that clear? So now, Lord Yama has explained the process of the worship. What is the actual workflow? What all ingredients you need? How should you place the ingredients? What you should chant? And if you do it, what is the phala? If you do, anybody does this, he says they will go to Brahmaloka. And he also says you have to do it with in this way and with this understanding. So now let us do a very simple mock workflow. Very simple, very straightforward. So hold your hands like this. So all of you have done namaskara. You do namaskara like this, right? Okay. So now let us do namaskara as per the original workflow and understanding behind it, and see if it has any impact. So have you done this before? Have you done this before, anybody? Okay. First is the gnana, clarity, understanding behind it. So there are three parts to it: gnana, karma, upasana. So let us start with gnana. Gnana is, one hand represents me, individual, panchabhutas. Okay, me, individual, who is made up of 5 elements. Okay, and mind and intellect and the reflection of consciousness. So jiva is represented one hand. The second hand represents panchabhutas, but totality, jagat. Okay, the jagat, and the jagat is nothing but saguna brahma, visible Lord. So when the jagat and jiva together represents Ishvara, who is the invisible Lord, Nirguna Brahma. Is it clear? Me, totality. So me and totality are separate, are two hands. But I'm in the totality. I'm also part of totality. You forget that. You understand that? You always think I am separate from the world without realizing that you are also part of the world. So in the Atma Darshana session, we inquire, where does the finger begin? Where does the finger end? Do you remember that? So Prithvi, you know this exercise? Show me the finger. Can you tell me from the other finger where your finger begins and where your finger ends? It what? It begins here or it ends here?
I think it begins here and it ends here.
It begins here, it ends here. Okay, correct. Now, can you move the finger?
Yeah.
If the finger began here, how are you moving the finger? The signal to move the finger is coming from the brain.
Okay.
So where is it beginning?
The mind, brain.
In the brain, the physiological brain, because there is a electrical signal coming from there to move the finger. If the signal doesn't come from there, can you move the finger? You can't move it, right? So now, can your brain function without sunlight? Where does the finger begin?
From the universe.
From the universe, from the
Universe.
existence.
Yeah.
So you are connected to the universe always. If you forget that, look at your finger. Okay? Anytime you forget, look at your finger and you realize I am connected to the whole universe. I don't begin here and end here. Okay? We have assumption that I begin and end here, and anything outside, I am disconnected, which is false. Okay? Okay, come back here now. Clear? One hand is Me, other hand is totality. And me and totality are one, is the understanding. Okay? And the oneness represents everything. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. In that oneness, there is no separation. There is no me, there is no world, there is no Ishvara. There is only Ishvara himself. Because everything is Lord. For example, one hand represents wave, the other hand represents ocean. Can the ocean and wave be separated? No. When you understand the oneness of the ocean and wave, you go to the third, which can't be represented by the physical, which is water. You understand? So when I join my hands, and the joining of the hand has to be done slowly. I'll just show you with understanding. Me, what I think is me is not me. I am one with the universe. And you bow the head with reverence to the Ishvara, water, who is everything, who is myself and who is everything. So, do you get the process? Now, shall we do it? Now, do it as slow as possible with this understanding. Okay? Slowly come back. Now, second instruction. Do the same thing. Okay? Everybody's back. Now, do the same thing. This time, when you bow down, you're bowing down to totality, Ishvara the Lord, and invoke devotion and gratitude in the chest region. So now how many moving parts are involved? The hands, the chest area, and the head. All are operating and coming together. Okay? Hands, slowly you join together, then you bow down, then you, with reverence and devotion, you bow down to the Ishvara. Slowly open your eyes. Do you see the difference? Is there a difference? What is the outcome? Prithvi, is there any outcome? No outcome.
No, there is a deeper sense of gratitude for everything.
Deep sense of gratitude and a deep feeling of connection to the whole.
Oh,
The mind
yes.
becomes silent. Okay. So this simple process this is what is called namaskara. So then you're involving, there's action, there's a gnana, there's a upasana. Okay. Gnana is the teaching that you don't know, which has to be given to you from Guru. Okay. A perspective beyond your day-to-day understanding. That is gnana. Correct? The second is upasana. Upasana is using your mind, you take a higher stand. You can take any stand with the mind. Mana eva karanam manushanam bandha mokshayo. You can use your mind to destroy yourself or to uplift yourself. In Upasana, you're using the mind to uplift yourself. So you're with devotion, gratitude, you're uplifting yourself. Then with the hands and the body, the physical body, you're doing the karma, the actual action. When all these three come together, then it is Purna. And in that Purna, you get a glimpse of the Purnatva, that you are whole. You are not part. The mind becomes silent. Okay, and you receive the blessings. Now, this is a example of one action. Now, imagine you do the entire process, the Vedic process, with the action, the ingredients, and the mantra, and the upasana, and the gnana. It brings the benefit. Okay, that's what Lord Yama explains to Nachiketa. So now I will go to the upasana part. So there is a upasana that Lord Yama teaches Nachiketa. It is a practice. It is a upasana meditation practice which Lord Yama teaches Nachiketa. So far is it clear? The Vedic process is clear. The significance of the Vedas, the significance of the fire, holy fire, and the significance of the whole process. Any doubts? Kavin, is it clear?
Yes,
So after teaching this, the fire worship, Yama is Nachiketa listens to it, he understands it, okay, and he repeats it. He repeats it back to Lord Yama and says, "You, this is what you told me. This is what I understood. This is what is the way." And so now there is a validation. So you have gone to the induction, then you have to take a quiz. You have done all those training exercises, right? HR gives you training exercises. You have to go to the training exercise. To make sure you've understood the training exercise, they will give you a quiz at the end. Then you have to answer. Only if you get 90%, then you have cleared it. Otherwise, all your access will be revoked. So Nachiketa repeats the whole process. Yama is very pleased because he's gotten 100 out of 100. He's understood everything that Lord Yama has taught. He's so pleased that he tells, "I will add another boon," okay, without you asking it. One, he's wearing a necklace. He gives him the necklace and he tells, "I will call this Nachiketa Agni." This will be henceforth, this whole process, this whole workflow will be called as Nachiketa Agni. And whoever does the Nachiketa Agni, in honor of your name, and whoever does this will go to Brahmaloka. So in the Brahmaloka, so now what is the difference between Brahmaloka and Swarga? Is that clear? So Brahmaloka is a much higher level loka where the time span is very long. So to give an example, 365 days of our time span, 365 days, 1 year for us, right? So 1 day of the Devatas, 1 day of the Devatas is 365 days for us. So Devatas wake up and go to sleep. In that, our 1 year is completed. So in their realm, their time span, when they go through 1 day, we have gone through 1 year. Now, 365 days of Devatas is 1 day in Brahmaloka. Okay. So the Brahmaloka, it's a very, very, very long life. It's no disease. And Nachiketa says death cannot come there. Not that there's no death. Ultimately, there's a death, but the death is in the dissolution of the universe. Okay. The universe is one lifetime of Brahma. So Brahma has, let's say, 100 years. The lifetime of Brahma is the entire universe time frame, which is millions of years. Okay. Now that millions of years, if you go into Brahmaloka, you will be there with that Brahma, the creator of the universe, for those million years. Okay. Enjoying, okay, studying, enjoying, having all sorts of bliss and joy. And then when the universe is destroyed, that loka is also collapsed. Okay. Then ends your Brahmaloka body. Then a new Brahma comes and creates a new universe, new world. Then you will start again there. Okay. So it's not mukti. It is just a prolonged bliss, a blissful state in the Brahmaloka. After that, you come back again. But it's just a longer time you're there. But somebody who has done Shravana Mananandidhyasa, somebody who is highly spiritually inclined, is focused on Gnana, they maybe possibly had a guru in the Bhuloka. They did not, for whatever reason, did not get Gnana, Atma Gnana, Jivan Mukti. After that, they go to Brahmaloka, where they continue the study there. And when Brahma becomes free as a part of dissolution of the Brahmaloka, they become free along with the Brahma. That is called Krama Mukti. So there is Jivan Mukti, where you get liberated while you're alive. There is Krama Mukti, wherein 90% of the work you've done here on earth, okay, you worked with the master, but for whatever reason, the Jivan Mukti has not happened. You will continue the focus in the Brahmaloka until the lifespan of Brahma, okay. You will enjoy that and focus on Atmagnana. You will study under Brahma and then get liberated from that loka. So this entire second boon encapsulate this understanding of the metaphysical. So there is a physical, metaphysical, and spiritual. I typically don't go into this layer. I typically in Gnana Marga is direct path. You directly go to Gnana. You don't even talk about lokas, and because it's all rejected as Maya. From the highest standpoint, all this is Maya. Okay. From the absolute standpoint, all of this is still Maya. But as long as you're identified with Maya, this is real. Do you understand? As long as you think the world that you're in is real, this is also real. And this will be your experience after death. Is that part clear? Is that distinction clear? Gnana and the path of Krama Mukti. Is it clear? In Gnana, all this is rejected. Even in the Upanishad, Yama is only talking about this because Nachiketa is asking. Now, the next question that he asks, jump into Gnana. When all this is bypassed. But here we are at the stage where we are getting an understanding of this, assuming that Gnana has not happened. So, in the second boon, he is explained about the fire worship and the benefits of that and the Brahmaloka. So in the Puranas, there is much more elaboration on the Brahmaloka. And it is not just the understanding of Sanatana Dharma. Even Buddha used to talk about, has given a detailed explanation of these lokas. How they are, what happens there, what are the experiences there, and what is the way out of all of this mess. Ultimately, you're understanding it so that you get out of the mess. Clear? Now, I want to explain about Upasana. What is Upasana? What is the importance of Upasana? And what is the Upasana that is taught to Nachiketa? So Upasana simply means there's a Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda as part of that. You are using your mind to uplift yourself by tuning your mind to higher reality. Okay. You are not going away from reality. You are just shifting your mind to think about higher reality. Now, what is reality cannot be thought about, but you can move your mind in that direction. That is called Upasana. So, example, and the Upasana that is taught to Nachiketa is called Virat Rupa Upasana. So, Upasanas are of many types. There is Vedic Upasana, there is Puranic Upasana, there is Tantric Upasana, there is highest Upasana called Sadguru Upasana. Okay. Then there is Pratika Upasana. So Upasana simply means your mind is always thinking about objects. What does your mind think about? What do you think about? So Adi Shankaracharya tells, Balastaval Krida Saktaha, Tarunastaval Taruni Saktaha, Vruddhastaval Chinta Saktaha, Parame Brahmani Kopina Saktaha. Okay. So what do you think about? So you can tell where you fall. So what, the Balastaval Krida Sakta, the one who is young, only thinks about games. Okay. Games. That could be different kinds of games. Then Tarunastaval Taruni Sakta. The one who is teenager only thinks about the opposite sex. Okay. Pleasure, physical pleasures. Vruddhastaval, the one who is middle-aged and getting old, only thinks about, only has worries. Okay. Only worries. Job market, health. Okay. Then regret. I lost my youth. Then what is going to happen? Then worry about enlightenment. Then worry about children. Earlier you didn't have worry about spirituality. Now that is also another worry. Oh my God, which loka I'll go to after death? Brahma loka or Narkaloka. Earlier you were joyful. Okay, at least I'll be in this loka, enjoy. Now you have to worry about what will happen if death also. Which loka I'll go to? So it is full of worry. So and Parabe Brahmani Kopina Sakta. Nobody thinks about Brahman. So where do you fall? So have you heard of this word called man-child? Man-child? सुना है आपने पनाजी man-child? Man-child is there as a boy, young small boy, the boy is playing with toy car. Okay. Now the boy grows up. Now the size of the car also has grown up. Earlier he used to play with toy car. Now the big car. Okay. Then he has posters of big car, looking at big cars. Then everything about the car he knows. How much horsepower. Okay. Which nut bolt. How fast it goes. Okay. Have you seen such people? The grown-up people, but still thinking about cars. Hot Wheels. Okay. So it's called man-child. So the thinking, the Balastaval Krida Sakta, it simply shows that physically you have grown older, but mentally you're still a child. So there are young, maybe young girls who are playing with a house kit, house. Okay. And then makeup kit. Okay. Then when they grow up, the kit has become bigger, that's all. And maybe real, but still same games. Okay. They're playing with the Barbie doll. Now you yourself are the Barbie doll. You are decorating yourself. Okay. Earlier you were like, what nice dress will I put to the doll? Now what dress should I put to myself? It's the same game, but at a different scale. So what do you think about? The mind is typically moving in the outward direction, objects of the world, thinking that the objects of the world give me happiness. Okay. And it will not stop. It will go on thinking about, forget about objects of the world. It is so obsessed with the objects that if it doesn't get an object in the waking world, it will create the object in the dream world and experience it. So it doesn't go mad. Okay. If something is denied to you in the waking state, okay, maybe sex or food or some experience of travel or something, promotion, kuch bhi. And if you're obsessed about it in the waking state, if you don't get it, you will fulfill it in the dream state. Has that happened? Prithvi? In the waking state, I didn't get promotion. I'll take it in the dream state. Okay, in the waking state, I didn't get married to this girl. I will get in the dream state. Okay. So simply because the mind is obsessed with objects. Now the object obsessed mind has to turn towards the subject, which is your true self, Atma. Okay. Now to do that, it needs a support system, and that support system is called a mental construct of Upasana. And that's where our ancestors created temples, beautiful vigrahas, right? Because you're obsessed with object, fine. Here's a beautiful object. Okay. Now there is a Rama Prana Pratishtha done in a beautiful temple of Ayodhya. Okay. Now it's easier for my mind to move to Lord Rama because it is in the language that I understand. Dharma is very abstract. Okay. But if you sculpt it out for me, I'm anyway thinking about human form. Now it's easier for me to think about Lord Rama's form. Okay. Now I hold a form and I associate with the form with reverence and devotion. And that is called Upasana. And most importantly, I do it with a sense of non-duality, meaning non-separation from the form. So when I think about a devata, so there's a Ishta Devata Upasana. I think about, I have Ishta Devata, let's say Rama, Krishna, Durga, Ganesha. So I invoke that divinity in my heart. I look at the form. I worship that form. I offer flowers, fruits. There's a Manasa Puja that's being done. And then I feel that my mind, that the divine is in my being, in my body and mind, guiding me, helping me, protecting me. Okay? And that is Upasana. Is it clear? Now, this is Pratika Upasana, using some Pratika, some form. This is also, then there's a Saguna Upasana. The whole universe is a form of the Lord, visible form of the Lord. I can do Upasana on the whole universe. That is called Saguna Upasana or Virat Upasana. Then there's a Nirguna Upasana. There is a Lord who is formless. I can think about the Lord who is formless as infinite space. And I can do Upasana. So how to do Upasana is a different class in itself. Okay. Where I'll take you through. I've taken you people earlier in the Atma Darshana session, we've done Upasana. So another time we'll take up Upasana. So today I'll just touch upon Virat Rupa Upasana, which Yama taught to Lord Nachiketa. Lord Yama taught to Nachiketa. Virat means, Virat Rupa is, so there is Narayana, who is Parabrahma Narayana, who is pure consciousness, unmanifest. Then there is a creation, and there's a Lord of the creation. The same Narayana becomes Vishnu to take care of the creation. Following so far? So there is Narayana, who's beyond creation. Then there's a creation. To maintain the creation, that same Narayana takes on a role as Vishnu. Okay. That Vishnu is the Lord of the whole universe, Ishvara. And the Lord of the whole universe is a totality. What is similar between you and that Lord? What is similar between you and the universe? What is the similarity between you and the universe? Is there any similarity? Radhika, what is it?
The Panchabhutas.
Panchabhutas, okay. Any other similarity? So the scriptures say, yes, Radhika?
The isness, the existence.
You exist. You say, I exist. And universe also exists. So what is similar to both of you, both you and universe, is existence. It's called Sat. You understand? So in the Virat Upasana, in the process, the jiva is asked to focus on the isness. There's isness in this center. I am, feeling of I exist. That isness is not localized to you. It's not personal. That isness is totality. The totality also is. Okay? And that isness can never be denied. You can never deny existence. Correct? To deny existence, you have to exist. You understand? So you can never deny it because you will always exist to deny it. So that means you will always be there. That existence is common, and that existence is Sat. And that Sat is nothing other than Lord Himself, Vishnu. So the entire Vishnu Sahasra Nama is about that Sat. Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Bhutatma Paramatma Cha Muktanam Paramagati. Okay? That existence is there in all living and non-living. For example, I exist. Glass exists. Photo exists. Wall exists. What is common to all? Existence is common to all. And that existence is unifying. And that existence is called Paramatma, Vishnu. In day-to-day life, you focus on the separation, the difference. Okay, the wall is different from me. The wall has certain characteristics. I have certain characteristics. But if you focus on the similarity, your mind becomes one with Lord. For example, there is a gold. There is a ring made out of gold. There's an earring made out of gold. There's a necklace made out of gold. First, our attention is on the different objects: gold, ring, necklace. The moment and what is similar to all of them is gold. The moment you pay attention to gold, then the separation goes into the background, dissolves, and is unified as gold. So in the Upasana, you use the mind to focus on the similarity between all. In this case, I am, isness. So you focus on the isness, then the mind dissolves and becomes one with the Virat Rupa. And this Virat Rupa is what is shown to Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 11, Vishwarupa Darshana. The cosmic form of the Lord. And this cosmic form of the Lord transforms and purifies the mind, purifies you, because now you no longer are living in programs. You could become free from objective thought patterns and move to the purity of I am or isness. So I am, he is, she is, that is, there is, everything is. That isness is Lord. You understand? Now with this Upasana and the the practice, the ritual, the fire ritual, Lord Yama says, he teaches both of them to Nachiketa. With the combination of this, you will go to higher level. That's why I told you, it is Brahma Loka, it's not Swarga. It is not good Punya. It is, you are doing a higher, you are doing Yagna with the understanding of higher principles. That higher principle, understanding that Upasana is the key. Okay? That Upasana has tremendous benefit. That's what we have seen in the story of Ekalavya. Have you everybody heard of the story of Ekalavya? Panaji suna hai Ekalavya. Ekalavya is denied entry into the Gurukul to learn archery from Dronacharya. So he creates a pratika of Dronacharya, a sculpture of Dronacharya. And he does Upasana. Please understand. His mind takes on, now there's no Dronacharya to teach him. who is going to become Dronacharya for him? The statue. But in reality, his own self is rising up to that standard. Okay, he's pushing with that using that pratika. So when you, let's say you have a photo of a guru or photo of a deity, when you look at that and when you think about that or do puja to that, you are invoking that in you. And that's how the transformation happens. That is the secret. You understand? Kavin, you understood?
Yes, Prasad.
So somebody has, let's say, there's a linga. Okay, the linga is there, and they sit in front of the linga and they think about Shiva. They're doing upasana of Shiva. Then the qualities of Shiva comes in them. Okay, the qualities of that which you are meditating upon comes into you. That is the effect. So the talent of Dronacharya came into Ekalavya because of Upasana. You understood? So now, so the principle is what you think you become. Simple. What you think, you become. What you go on thinking about, you become that. You go on thinking about disease, you become patient. You go on thinking about suffering, your life will be suffering. You go on think about the higher principle, divinity, the divinity starts, you start becoming that. What you think you become and what you adore you become. You understand? Any doubts in that? So Upasana is, you are using the mind, thinking. Thinking is a process of the mind. You're not gone beyond thinking yet. Okay, beyond thinking is Gnana, where you drop the thinking faculty. In Upasana, you're still using the thinking, mental faculty, thinking process, but using it to uplift yourself. And that brings transformation in your behavior, your life, your thoughts, your actions. So what you think, you become. So think about the higher. It's called Upasana. And when you do it in a certain way, and the Upasana also is instructed. See, all of these things you can't get from books or ChatGPT or some other source. It's a process passed on from master to disciple. The master brings the clarity on how to do yagna, how to do fire worship, how to do upasana. All that is the wisdom is passed on. That's grace. That is the importance of the guru. So the second boon has been fulfilled. Nachiketa has learned and he's able to perform the Nachiketa Agni, and he has got what he asked for, which is Brahmaloka. Any doubts in the second boon? Now the third boon. So we won't go into the detail of the third boon. I'll just tell you what is the third boon that he asked. The third boon that he asked, now he's gotten Brahmaloka. Now what is the next thing to ask for? Huh? What is the next thing he'll ask? He's got the highest realm, Brahmaloka. Now he asks, Lord Yama, some people tell there is life after death. Some people tell there is no life after death. Tell me the secret of how to go beyond life and death. Okay, that is the third question that a 9-year-old boy asks. Yama is taken aback. He's still understanding, okay, this boy is asking this question. And immediately he tries to distract him. He tells, this is a very, thinking that, okay, this person is like, people ask, no, I want mukti, I want mukti. They've heard mukti from it's a catchphrase. Okay, they've heard somebody saying it and they're just repeating it. Okay, maybe they don't really want it just to sound cool. And it's in, so anytime there's a new buzzword, AI, all the corporates start using it in all their talks. In all release notes, in all press meets, AI. Okay, what is AI? You don't understand how to use it. You've not really thought through. Just use it because it's in It's in fashion. So mukti, I want mukti, I want mukti. So people use it in fashion. So Yama is seeing, okay, is this boy also has heard it somewhere? Maybe he's heard from his father, he's heard from somebody, and he's using these words. So he tells, no, it's don't worry about all that stuff. Don't worry about mukti. Don't worry about all these questions. Even the gods, even the devatas don't understand all of this. So don't worry about it. Then the boy is like a lawyer. Anything that you say or say will be used against you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say will be used against you. So whatever Lord Yama says in the shloka, he uses that again. See, you said it is even difficult for the devatas, gods, to understand it. Now I want to understand it. That means it's valuable. It has that value that even gods don't understand it. Now please give me that. Okay, he tells, I want to know that. Now Lord Yama understands, okay, he really wants to understand. So he tries to test him. So typically Guru tries to test. So even my master, when I initially met him, and in the first meeting I understood, okay, that I had no understanding of what is Guru, what is spirituality, nothing. But I understood this is not a human being. This is something else. Okay. This is a divine being. And the words of wisdom, right? It is altering, it blew my mind. Okay, that understanding of that there is Maya, there's something called Maya and all that. So then I had a deep craving that I want to know more. Okay. So at that time, he was in a very senior position in a tech company. I used to, and we didn't have the normal mobile, these smartphones. We had those keypad phones. So in the keypad phones, you were allowed a few messages per day, whatever, 50 messages, 100 messages per day, right? So I would use all my messages to tell him when is the next class. I want to learn more. I want to learn more. So I used to pester him, and he used to keep pushing me away. No, you're not ready for. You're too young. You're too young. You're too young. And then, so then there was then he created a batch just for my pestering. Okay, put people together and had a session. So the Guru will test whether this person really wants it or not. So there are many people, when you discourage them, okay, no, then they go away. Okay, I've also seen that. Many people, if I discourage them, then so just yesterday, my whole startup team had visited my house. So we were a game night. We were playing, all these board games and everything. So unfortunately or fortunately, my CEO came to know about that I do these sessions from somebody else. And he was pestering me. So I dodged it multiple times. I dodged it. No, it's not the right forum. We don't have to get into all that. I dodged it multiple times. So we played, we had a lot of, all that fun and games till 9:30 p.m. From 9:30 to 12:30 a.m., because of his pestering, there was a satsang here, okay, on the inquiry into higher self. Now imagine for startup folks who have no background of spirituality. So that happened and it happened they were supposed to leave at 8 p.m., go back home because they come from different parts of Bangalore. It'll take them 1 hour to go back. But they stayed back and listened to all this, had this discussion because that craving is there. Maybe curiosity, maybe craving. So that discussion happens. So Guru tries to first discourage, test. The Guru tests the disciple in many ways. And then it is given. Okay. So Lord Yama tests. Now, this test is very hard to pass. Okay. Most of us would fail this test. So what is the test? First thing he tells is, you don't ask me this. I'll give you something better. I will give you. So there are women in Swargaloka on chariots. They are so beautiful that the earthly beings can't even imagine that there are such beings exist. They're so beautiful. I'll give you them. It is impossible for earthly beings to get such women. Now imagine like Miss Universe or something. Okay, would you reject it, Gautam? Huh? Miss Universe se proposal aa gaya. Will you reject it? So I've seen, no, in the arranged marriage scenario, I don't know how many of you went to arranged marriage. Typically, the boy, some intermediary, like some agent or somebody, gets the photographs of boys and girls. Have you seen this? In your relatives or any friends, it might be happening. So the boys are very clear. They look at the photograph. Okay, this beautiful girl, go for it. I'm okay. Okay. Okay, no, this is not going well. Reject. Okay, so the boys' criteria is very clear. The girl has to be beautiful. The girl's criteria, and now everything is interchanged. Now everybody only cares about money. They don't care about how you look. So I have a friend who's a doctor, who's a very qualified doctor, done double masters. Okay, and she's very beautiful, still unmarried, because the boys these days have extraordinary asks. Now the ask is, okay, you are beautiful, fine. You are educated, masters, great. What is your net worth? It should be more than my net worth. My net worth is 100 crores. Your net worth should be 110 crores. So that when we both come together, our net worth becomes 200 crores. Okay. So so all of you who got married are all very fortunate. You got married before the world went completely mad. So Gautam, you're entering such a world. You understand? So Lord Yama is tempting Nachiketa. I'll give you girls who you cannot even think of getting. Okay, way beyond your reach. Nachiketa tells, and he also promises other pleasures. I'll give you eternal youth. I'll give you 100 years, eternal youth, beautiful women, billions of dollars. He tells money. So these are all the things that he tells. Lot of money, long life, eternal youth, beautiful girls. Such a great offer. Would you reject such an offer? I'm going to make you an offer that you can't refuse. Would you reject such an offer? Panaji? ढेर सारा पैसा. Okay? More than Ambani's. Okay? Health, eternal youth. Always you'll be young and beautiful. And you'll be happy throughout your life. And you can have partners. Anything more you want than that? Will you take the offer?
I don't know, Guruji.
No, it's very tempting. My hand is almost itching to take it. So, Nachiketa, would you take it, Prithvi? Would you take it? You don't have to work. You don't have to report to your manager. Infinite money you have, and health, and beauty. Would you reject it? Gautam, why is struggling with PhD and everything?
I mean, it'll come to an end, right? So there is.
You will see later. First, you enjoy. Oh, short-sighted.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would take it, but.
Kavir, would you take it? It's a very good offer.
No, Guruji.
I would almost consider taking it. Okay, so Nachiketa says, great, Yama, Lord Yama, you're giving me all this, wonderful. But the simple logic, I have a very simple logic, this 9-year-old boy's logic. I have a simple logic. All these things that you're telling me is dependent on my sense organs. For example, let's say I become blind. Then the girl can be the most beautiful in the multiverse. How does it matter to me? Okay. Let's say my body gets some disease. What will I do with the money? I can't do anything with the money. I can't escape death. I can't escape suffering. So whatever you're giving me, and what is the use of wealth? Okay, fine. Ambani is there. He has a lot of wealth. After death, what happens? Again, you have to start. It's just until your punya lasts. So everything that you're offering me has an expiry date. Give me something which has no expiry date. Give me something which is eternal. I don't want anything which will get exhausted after some time. So that is why I persist. I persist and I ask you, give me the knowledge that will take me beyond life and death. So then there's a debate. So like this, they both debate. The master and disciple debate. Now the debate is, this is a ulta debate. The debate in the world is you're always debating with God. When you go and pray, you tell that person, he is less qualified than me. He has this. Why don't this person in my office? He's much less, he's idiot compared to me. And he has a bigger pay package. Okay. This person, look at his face, he looks like a monkey and he has got married to this girl. And I am so handsome. Why don't I get married? Why don't I get girls? And this person had got married at such a young age. I am so old, I'm still not married. So you're always debating and negotiating with God to give you based on what you deserve. Here is ulta. Here, Lord is telling, take it. And Nachiketa is debating against. No, I don't want it. You give me liberation. You give me gnana. So he's not, he's telling you, tell me the secret of life and death. And you tell me what it is. He doesn't know it's liberation. He doesn't know it's Atmana. He's telling you, teach me what is the secret. That which will take me beyond life and death. That which is eternal. That which I'll never lose. That which is unconditional. It should not be conditions applied. All that you are offering me has conditions applied. Okay, you're telling me I have 100 years, but 100 years is condition, right? After 100 years, what happens? I die. And 100 years will go like that. Right? You are giving youth for how long? It will go, everything will disappear. So give me something which is eternal. And now Lord Yama is very pleased. Listening to the boy's conviction, the boy's focus on Gnana, Lord Yama is extremely pleased and now starts revealing the secrets of what is beyond, how to go beyond life and death, how to attain Jivan Mukti. So that we'll take up in the next session. So with this, we complete the first chapter, which is 29 shlokas, which is about the first, second, and the third boon that Nachiketa asks. And now starts the Gnana. Now is the Gnana part. The first was Dharma, second was the metaphysical, Adi Daivika, which relates to lokas and different beings, and the Vedas, Karma Kanda, and Upasana Kanda. Now comes the Gnana. Now, from now on, the only focus is Atmana. How to become free from concepts, how to become free from the cycle of birth, rebirth, old age, and suffering. Any questions? Ravi?
Krishna, I had one question. This is also, am I audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this is about the karma that you spoke about, different types of karmas in your previous session.
Right.
So since I'm new to all of this, I wanted to understand why is it designed in a way that whatever karmas you do, you will probably face the effects of it, or you will probably reap the benefits of it only after you're dead or in your next life. So for people who don't really have access to education like this, won't they be under impression that no matter how much good we are doing, we are not reaping the benefits of it? Probably God is just a figment of our imagination, or it's just an illusion. And won't that push them into doing wrong deeds when they see that their good deeds are not rewarded in this life itself?
Yeah. So that is also part of their karma. So that's not true. It's partially true what he said. For example, you go and hit somebody. Okay. when does the karma come back? It'll be instant, right? It'll be very instant. So you break some law, the karma will be very instant. Now, there are certain things which have taken momentum, taken time, that get passed on to the next lifetime. So karma you need to understand from a much bigger picture. Here is where you need to understand the types of karma. Karma is of 4 types. One is called Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma means it is a repository of all karmas of all your lifetimes. Okay, it is a pool. It is a big pool, which in multiple lifetimes. And how many lifetimes? Millions and millions of lifetimes. You have done many karmas. And how long is this time span? We don't know. It is infinite. Okay, and I told you earlier, no, one Brahma, one creation of millions of years is one Brahma. So the universe is created, sustained, destroyed, dissolved. Okay, that is millions of years. Now with that, you're in that millions of years, you've done so much karma. All that you carry forward to the next creation. When the next creation is done, you carry forward there and again you reap them. So that is called Sanchita karma. How big is it? It's infinite. Nobody knows how big it is. So it's like $1 billion in the bank. Okay, equivalent. So you have a bank balance of all your lifetimes. That is called Sanchita karma. Is that clear? Sanchita karma is clear? Now, this life, your current life, is completely predestined from the withdrawal you make from the Sanchita karma to start this life. And that's called destiny. You understand? So in that 1 billion of Sanchita, you will withdraw 1 lakh to start this lifetime. Okay, you can't exhaust everything. You can't take everything. 1 lifetime, let's say you take 1 part of the karma, and that's called prarabdha karma. Prarabdha is you took 1 part of that Sanchita to experience this life and to exhaust it. Now you start with 1 lakh, but that 1 lakh, you interact with the world and you do more karma. That's called kriyaman. It's now present continuous. You add karma. Okay. Now that present continuous karma gets added back to Sanchita. So you started with 1 lakh. By the end of the lifetime, how much that 1 lakh has become? You are a very good businesswoman. 1 lakh you started, prarabdha karma. By the time you finish your life, you have made it 10 crores. Okay. And that you add to the $1 billion. So this way it is a perpetual. Okay. Now, in the prarabdha, so let's say you've done some karma, you've murdered somebody in some life. So everybody has done every karma like that practically. What is there in life? In any life, any lifetime, any time span, any time period, what is ordinary life? Okay. Maybe you are a king, maybe you are a beggar, maybe you are a warrior, maybe you are a doctor, maybe you are a scientist, maybe you are a poet, maybe you are a whatever, architect, whatever. You have seen through all possibilities. You are an ant, you are an elephant, you are a monkey, you are a ghost, you are a cow, everything. So you have lived as multiple life forms. So there are 84 million life forms, they say. And in each life form, you have lived millions of life. And then you get a human life. And in human life, you live many, many lives and you do karma. And this karma basically is unconscious action, predestined. Something you did last time that created some desires, some momentum. And ultimately, at the time of death, there's so many unfulfilled desires. Okay. That unfulfilled desires will push the mind to create another body. Okay. Now, the body is created not because of your will. Your karma also has to support that. If you don't have enough supporting karma, you will take a lower life form. If you have enough supporting karma, you will take a human life form. And you will start with the karmic balance. That which you need to exhaust. And that most importantly, this is the key here. most importantly, that which will push you to the next level. That is the grace of Lord. Although you are in an infinite loop, but Lord is making sure that because of the process of this karma, it's a learning process. Every time you come with the prarabdha karma, you are learning and completing lessons which you have to learn. Okay, that's why it's called universe. It's a university. You're coming here to learn. What lessons you're coming here to learn? You're coming here to learn karmic lessons. That's all. And that lessons, so the person who is doing good karma now and is not reaping the benefit, what is the lesson? That was the question, right? I'm doing good karma, but I'm not reaping the benefits right now. That means you're not doing good karma. Somebody who's doing really good karma, when I say good karma, somebody is doing good karma and is in tune, is doing dharmic work. The principle is dharmo rakshate rakshitaha. Okay, Krishna tells in the Gita, swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even the smallest action in dharma will elevate or remove the biggest fear. So somebody who is on the righteous path, they reap the benefit then and there. And the benefit is psychological. The peace of mind, the inner strength, right? The spiritual qualities will develop. Somebody does good karma, they are working in a framework of society. In the society, you have to understand how the society works. Okay? Sowing the seed, is it good karma? Sowing the seed with the intention to get crops, is it good karma? Sowing the seed with the intention to grow crops to feed the country, is it good karma? But sowing the seed with the intention to grow crops, with the intention to feed the country in the wrong season, it is pointless. You understand? So the lesson is, I have to learn how to do it right. So there are various lessons. People are at various journeys. There are various lessons they have to learn. And depending on the lessons that they have to learn, they will meet and they will end up in that kind of situations in life. So somebody who's doing good karma now, first see understanding of good karma. So give me an example of what you said. Somebody is doing good karma. Give me an example.
No, if there is a businessman who's also involved in a lot of charities, good deeds, and everything else, but yet there is some unfulfilled desire, probably he's been childless or things like that, which is a result of something that he has done previously.
Correct.
So doesn't all the good deeds that he has done throughout this life, why is it that you have to reap the benefit only in the next life? Why not in this life is what I wanted to know.
That is the whole, this chapter, no, this boon is about that, I told you. In the Vedas, there are processes to get, if you do certain karma now, here and now, you will get here and now. The karma kanda is all about here and now. Here and now, and of course, after also. If you do certain things in a certain way, you will get it here and now. For example, let's say you want to change your domain, okay, or maybe start a business. Now there's a process for that. You're working as an IC, as an individual contributor or a manager or wherever. You want to change your context and start a business because you want to get higher returns. Okay, example. Now there's a process for that. There's a way for that. If you follow that process in the right way, associated with the right people, you have the right knowledge, you get the right product that you're creating, and you get the right product market fit, then it will work. Why it will not work? It will work here and now. It will work. It does happen. If it is not happening, then it's a question. Why? That is the lesson. That is the gap that people need to fill. So that's why I told in the I don't know if in the previous chapter or previous class or the one before that, the karma is itself, prarabdha itself is of three types. There's something called as tivra prarabdha. very intense. It is absolutely cannot be changed. Okay? That is Tivra. No matter what you do, you cannot change. You are meant to go through that experience. That is called Tivra Prarabdha. You cannot change it. Then there is much more lighter Prarabdhas. With your action, with your effort, you can change that. That is the scope that you have. Not everything is set in stone. Is that clear? So somebody who's doing good and is trying to change something in life, definitely. So they will. That's evolution. No, first you try, you fail. That's what all the success stories are made up of. I tried, I failed, and then I succeeded. So there's no overnight success as such. Even in the world, there's no overnight success. The overnight success that we see only person becoming successful. We don't see all the failures that they've had and the lessons that they've learned. Right? So it is there. So if you do something here, if you sow a seed here, you will get the benefits now. But there are different types of seeds. There are different types of fruits. Some fruits take, like let's say there's a person sowing there's an old man sowing a mango seed, and people laugh at him. Why are you sowing it? You can never eat the mango. So he says, it is not for me. It is for my next generation. So some seeds take time. Some are instantaneous. Some with effort. Some just come effortlessly because of your prarabdha. Okay, you have tried extremely hard. It didn't work. But then because of the prarabdha karma, something triggered and something worked out in your life. So life is a mixture of all of these. So that is why gahano karmano gati. It is impossible for the human mind to understand this mechanics of karma. All we can say is, what do I need to learn? And how can I get out of this? Okay, I want to become free from this karmic cycle. That is the question that I have. When I've come to a point of understanding this, understanding that I don't understand it. Okay, otherwise it's a mechanical life. Please understand. People have no choice. They have no choice to think anything else also, because life is so programmed. You don't even question. You have some desire, you do some action, you go, you seek, you suffer, you're doing some good karma, you do some bad karma, both you're compelled to do. You have no choice. You are just a machine until you come to Gnana Marga. Does that answer the question? So what is the answer?
Yes, so you've answered that, it is all. So there are some karmas of which the results you reap right away in this life. Then there are some which is a foundation for your next life, or which does something good for your generations that are going to come.
And karma also depends on, it is not individual. Please understand. Let's say you want to become prime minister. Okay, you have a desire. You want to become prime minister. And you have no background whatsoever. Okay, neither do you have the punya in your bank account to become prime minister, but you have the desire, and you're doing something for that in this lifetime. Will you become prime minister in this lifetime? Probability might not be. Very low probability, right? Very, very low probability. But for the universe, you have already put a seed. So for that seed to become fruit, it has to wait for a universal positioning. The whole has to be in a certain position for your desire to be fulfilled. You understand? That is what is the case of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a very unique, the war, Kurukshetra war, is a very unique war. Arjuna is a Kshatriya. Krishna tells in the Gita that Arjuna, hey, you have been waiting for this kind of a war. It comes in once in a millennium. It's a very great opportunity for a Kshatriya. Now, to get that opportunity, he has been waiting as a Kshatriya for many lifetimes. Okay, why? Simply because the world also has to be at that stage. No, just because you have a desire, the world also has to be ready, right? You understand? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Let's say you have a desire for which the technology itself does not exist right now. Okay, so to fulfill that, you will be born at a time when that becomes possible. So it is not individual positioning. Even the whole has to reorient itself to make your desire fulfilled. And that is the story of this guy, our Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra killed the birds. I told you the story. He killed the birds many, many lifetimes ago. The children of there were two birds and they had many children. He burned the tree and the parents of the bird became blind and they cursed Dhritarashtra. He was a hunter. And many lifetimes after, Dhritarashtra gets 100 children who are killed by Pandavas. Now, he cannot reap the benefit of that karma then and there because he doesn't have 100 children to lose, no? You understand, Prithvi? Now, he has done a karma where he has killed 100 children. He has to reap the benefit. He has to lose 100 children, but he doesn't have 100 children. Now, to get 100 children, he has to do punya karma. To get one child, you have to do punya karma. To get 100 children who will be kings, not just ordinary children, who will be what is that? Royalty. He does punya karma for many, many lifetimes. That's what Krishna explains. Krishna explains, you did punya karma for many, many lifetimes to get 100 children. And then when you got 100 children, now the positioning is placed. Cosmic positioning, individual positioning. Now the account can be squared off. Some things happen instantaneously. Some things if you do, like if you put a finger in the fire, you will immediately burn. That karma doesn't wait. Okay. Then if you abuse somebody, immediately you get abused back. That karma doesn't wait. Okay. Then there are different types of layers of at scale where if you do, depending on what you're seeking and what you've done and what you're destined to get, the time span might change. But whatever you're due, whatever you've desired, it will come. Either today, tomorrow, next lifetime, or 100 lifetimes later. That is the precision of the universe. And we are too small to understand why like this. Okay, and somebody who is everything is a lesson. So it's people are different. Like in second standard, you learn some lessons. In seventh standard, you learn some lessons. In PhD, you learn some lessons. Right? People are in different classrooms. Correct? So what we don't see is people. You see, everybody's in the same world. No, everybody's in the same world, but they're in different karmic classrooms. Do you understand that, Prithvi? Every individual, every individual is an individual journey. That's why Jesus said everybody has to carry their own cross. Everybody has their own cross to carry, their own karma, their own karmic lessons. But we look at other classes and say, I should be in that class. Or why am I learning this lesson? Okay, why does that person have what I want? Okay, that's simply because you don't see the karmic lesson.
No, I think sometimes you also become a part of someone else's karma also, right? Now, for example, if I take an example of death, you lose. There's a loss of a loved one. Okay, it could be anybody, a parent, a sibling, a child, anyone. So, somewhere it just haunts you that it was not their time to go yet, when they were really good people, or when you were good, when you were good as a family, or something like that. Why did this strike upon us? There will be a lot of questions, right? So, how
Correct.
do you deal with that?
Absolutely right. Yes, absolutely. So, a few weeks ago, just 2, 3 weeks ago, my neighbor's best friend, she lost her uh, teenage daughter. There was a it was in the news also. There was an incident in hill station where a tree fell down and a few people lost their life. This girl was one of them. The girl is very young, teenage. Okay, instantly gone. Went for a outing, a hill station. Tree fell. Nobody else got affected in their family. Only the girl lost her life. So, and then we look at this and we ask questions. Why did it happen to us? Why did it happen to you? It's happening to you because definitely for some reason. That reason we don't understand why. So maybe the guru, and that's why that is the whole role of the guru or the higher order. It's for you to go and seek the answer from there. So then you get an understanding of karma, then you get an understanding of the bigger picture of life. We always navigate life to a very small picture, very small understanding. Is it right? It's absolutely right. The law of karma is perfect, please understand. It is perfect. It is unbiased, and it is not partial. It is not unfair. It is precision. It is mathematical. When something is due for somebody, you can be anywhere in the world, it will find you. Your karma will find you. Whatever it is, either be it be it a good merit or a lesson. I wouldn't say bad, a lesson. There are only lessons in the universe. There's no good or bad in that sense. That good and bad is a mental concept. There are only karmic lessons. Okay. Whatever lesson you have to learn, that lesson will be presented to you because you're in the classroom and you chose to learn that lesson. Okay. That lesson will be taught. So, take the example of Hitler, right? Hitler caused the massacre of thousands of people. Then he's not captured, he's not tortured, he's just shot dead. Okay. Now that karma has to come back, no? Some that karma has to come back. Somehow it will come back. So whatever is required for that karma to come back, whatever is required for that lesson to be learned, that stage will be set by the universe for that particular jeev. So you're put where you can learn the lessons that you are destined and entitled to learn. So wherever you are is the perfect place to be. Is that clear? Radhika, Kavin, Mithali ji.
Guruji, I had a follow-up question on this.
Ah.
I've been hearing a lot about this. I get your point that whatever we are destined to, we have to go through it. So acceptance is the key. I've been hearing a lot about this Ho'oponopono technique, where they tell, uh, you know, where they explain the techniques to forgive and accept the situations in our life so that we do not create more karma.
Correct.
So is there any equivalent of Ho'oponopono in our Vedic culture?
Yeah, so it's called Kshama, gratitude, sadhana, all that. So Ho'oponopono is a very, it's also a very ancient culture, very wise, okay? And it works. In Sanatana Dharma, you have Prayashchita. You have heard of Prayashchita? So typically, if you go to an astrologer, the astrologer gives you Prayashchita karma. So there are some karma that you have done by Prayashchita. You can do rectification. And that rectification is also that you move in that direction, right? So the Prayashchita also works. Ultimately, what? Ultimately, for example, if you look at how karma is getting burned, you're simply surrendering. The total surrender to the Lord, it burns the karma, right? Then you're surrendering the higher power. Now, that's surrender is the ultimate. People are maybe not able to do the ultimate surrender, but they genuinely seek forgiveness. They do prayaschitta. They understand their mistake. The Lord is benevolent. The Lord is not cruel, jailer. In fact, the Lord looks for very, very small openings to enter. That's why Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, no? Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo. All papas you've done. Mokshesha, I'll free you from all papas. All you have to do is the exchange. You give me 1 cent, I'll give you $1 billion. That is a transaction with the Lord. You take 1 step, I will take 100 steps towards you. But at 1 step, taking itself becomes so difficult for us. But that's the promise. So the entire Bhagavad Gita is Ishwara's promise to mankind. One is understanding of karma and also ways to go out of the karma. So by developing divine Devata Sampatti, by becoming more sattvic, all of these are by dhyana, by yoga, by shuddhi, by prarthana, by prayaschitta, definitely it can happen. But you will not become free from the cycle of karma. That is only gnana. Some resolution can happen, but you will not become free from the cycle of karma. That is only because of Atmagnan.
Guruji, I had a doubt. So when we talk about surrender, so I try to follow it, but there is also a little bit of bitterness. It just comes like unconsciously sometimes, and sometimes I'm okay with what's happening, but sometimes I fall back. Like for 2-3 days, I just feel like low and things like that. How can I like stop that?
So surrender is a different class in itself. Okay?
Yeah,
It's a, it is a maturity. It is a blossoming of the mind and the grace of the Guru, right? So we'll take up surrender again another time. So right now, you focus on Shravana, Manana, and Dhyasa.
right.
So let the mind settle down. Let the mind move in these thoughts, Upasana and higher thoughts. Slowly, slowly. You don't have to rush everything. It's
Yeah.
a natural process.
Okay.
It's a gentle process. Any other questions? Kavin? Parnaji? And one more secret is there. Karma, we think karma, I am doing something. It's something I am doing individually. It is not individual. So I told you there are higher forces, devatas and asuras. They operate through us. Okay. And somebody who has divine tendencies, they operate more through that person. Somebody who has predisposition of demonic tendency, the asuric tendencies operate more through them. Okay. So it's a cosmic play. It's not an individual play. So it's a cosmic mess that we are stuck in a web, and I have to come out of it, but I don't see any way out. And that's where we need the grace of the Guru, the Shastra, and the Ishvara. It is to think about what is at at play in this moment, no, it will blow your mind. To think about how you came to this point, to be here, to listen to this. If you reverse engineer it, first of all, you can't. If you try to reverse engineer it, okay, one is to be at the mental module that you are at right now, which took you many years, many lifetimes to mature to this. Many lifetimes to mature to this, to be able to listen to this teaching. Okay. And to be able to have the societal framework that you're part of right now. And for the world itself to be in this cyclic stage. So the world is in a very cyclic stage right now at a whole, right? Where the tides are shifting, where the world is going through, so Corona happened, and then now the leadership in the world is changing. Wars are happening in the world. Many wars are happening in the world. The crime rate is high. The amount of animal cruelty is exponential, right? To keep sanity in this world itself is a great thing. So how, with all these fluctuating, moving parts, to be here and to understand how you are here is not an individual journey. It is, so many things have been taken care for you. All we can do is embrace what we have got, solve our problems. We have some problems, some bandha vasanas. They're called bandha vasanas. Something that is keeping me bound and suffering. Remove that. That's all. I don't have to think about solving the problem of the world. I solve my problem. I become free from my karma. That's all enough. After that, we'll figure out if there needs to be more to be done. So that's the whole process of Upanishad. In the Upanishad, the focus is master and disciple, nothing else. So you and I will focus on the problem at hand, which is the ignorance. Okay, and address the ignorance. Clear? Shall we close for the day? Any other questions?
One last question.
Go ahead.
So then by the end of this session that you conduct, Upanishads, you said that one will be free of ignorance. So what exactly will the mindset of that person be by the end of learning all these things?
So the answer in the Upanishad is one who gets gnana, atma gnana. Two things happen. Vidyate hridaya granthi, chidyate sarva samshayah. Vidyate hridaya granthi, chidyate sarva samshayah. Tasmin drishte paravare. So vidyate hridaya granthi means there is a deep feeling of individuality, suffering, separation. I have a feeling I am an individual. I am the body. I am the mind. I am a role. I am this person, Prithvi. That breaks. Vidyate hridaya granthi. That hridaya granthi breaks. The knot of the heart breaks. So when the knot of the heart breaks, all emotional disturbances cease. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya cease. So such a person becomes incapable of going through emotional disturbances. Okay? In the process of getting there, the intensity of that reduces. In the process of getting there, also it happens. I told you about fire. The frequency, intensity, and repeatedness in the recovery. So the frequency of emotional disturbance reduces. The intensity of the emotional disturbance reduces. And the recovery is faster from the emotional disturbances. Okay? And then when the gnana happens, altogether the emotional disturbances disappear because the hridaya granthi is broken. Chidyate sarva samshaya, all samshaya, doubt. Doubt about what? The doubt about reality, doubt about who I am, doubt about what is real, what is unreal. That becomes very clear. I now know Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. So Agnani, now it is Jagat Satya, Brahma Mithya. The ulta will happen. Brahma Satya, I will know Brahman as reality. consciousness. And what is that consciousness? Is myself. Myself is everything, is the realization, is the, I wouldn't use the word experience, it's called anubhuti, not anubhava. Anubhava is experience. There is a deep clarity that self alone exists. So the example given in Vedanta is there is a rope. You're in the forest, dark forest, there's a rope. Then you think it is a snake. Then you have palpitation. Then you put the torch on, you see it's a rope. Okay. Now you turn off the torch, it still appears as a snake. But this time there's no palpitation. Same thing happens. In Gnana, the world, now, earlier you would think the world is real. Now you know, you've seen through the reality of the world, okay, which is Brahman, the essential nature of the world. Again, the Gnani sees the world, interacts with the world. But this time the world doesn't enter this person. You're in the world, but you're not of the world. Is that clear? That's why the lotus, you become like a lotus. The lotus is in the mud, in the water, but nothing of the mud or the water touches the lotus. So you will be in the world, fully functioning, doing whatever you're doing, but without getting affected by the world. Because you have some ignorance now, no samshaya. What is truth, what is untruth. Tasmin drishte paravare. At all, you're in sahaja samadhi. Sahaja samadhi means with eyes open, you are in a deep sleep-like state, wherein in deep sleep you are conditionless, limitless, objectless, full of bliss, and unidentified with any object. That will be your state in the waking state, with your eyes open. You are in deep inner tranquility, in bliss. You realize your nature as bliss. So there is no seeking of happiness from the world. No seeking, no duality with me and something else is separate. And you move through the world as if an actor moving through a sets of a movie. That it's only a projection movie. And you play a role like an actor plays the role that the actor is assigned, knowing fully very well that I am Brahman. Okay? Krishna plays the role of a driver, knowing fully very well I am Brahman. You will play whatever role you're assigned, knowing fully very well your true nature. Just like the actor. The actor plays the role of a beggar, knowing fully very well I am not the beggar. I'm just playing the role of a beggar. So this is what will happen after Gnana. Is it enticing enough?
Very much.
So in simple words, you will declare, I am not the body, I am not this mind, I am not these thoughts that I'm getting, I am not the intellect, I am not this role's character that I play, I am pure consciousness Shiva, Shivoham, Shivoham. You will realize yourself as Shiva, not as Jiva. So Jiva realizes it is Shiva. Pure, unblemished, divine consciousness, birthless, deathless. That is the outcome. And that is called awakening. It's also called nirvana. Another thing that happens is you ordinarily have 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. Most of the thoughts are noise. They create noise in the nervous system, right? And they perpetually keep your nervous system in a stress mode. It's called, what is it called? Parasympathetic. Kavin, what is it called? Sympathetic or parasympathetic?
Sympathetic.
Sympathetic is the stressed one.
Yes.
So because of the thought pattern, the nervous system is in a sympathetic, it's in a sympathetic mode. meaning stress hormones are constantly getting released. Okay, and you're not able to, your constant thoughts, agitation, fear, right? You're like living like an animal in the forest. When you become thoughtless, thought free, from free, not completely thoughtless, you will have necessary thoughts. Okay, all unnecessary imaginary thoughts will disappear from your life. That frees up your nervous system, and your nervous system now becomes parasympathetic, relaxed. In the relaxed nervous system, the body heals, the mind becomes creative. Now you have energy for creative endeavors, because now no longer your energy is used for fight and flight. In the sympathetic nervous system, all your energy is right used for fight and flight. At any time, you are perceiving a threat in the world. Anytime I could lose my job, what should I do? Oh my, I have to do all these things. Okay, anytime something can happen, I should do that. So nothing is happening, but your mind is creating that because of a thought pattern. So that will get eliminated. You will be totally in the present moment, pure present, now, here and now, total present, no past, no future, like a child, like a child, blissful, like a child in the present moment. Okay, and the child is in the parasympathetic nervous system. That's why the child, even if it falls, right, it doesn't hurt itself. Okay, as an adult, your fall is so strategic that the slightest fall, you have to get a scan done. Some bone is broken. Okay, because the child is just in a very relaxed, deep relaxation. So you become like a child. So enlightenment means becoming like a child. Out of the child is a child out of innocence. You will become a child out of gnana, out of illumination, not innocence. The innocence of the child can be lost. The illuminated childlikeness of a gnani, there's no fallback from that. That's why gnani, when you meet a Mahatma, Mata Amrita Nami, or any enlightened master, they're like a child, pure love, radiating love, no mental faculty, no judging, just a pure love, giving, compassion, and clarity. That is the only difference between a child and a gnani. Child doesn't know itself, gnani knows himself. What more you want? Tell me. There's much more. If I go on, it will go on. The list grows and grows and grows. Okay. Then the greatest outcome is, in the world of how many billion people are there in the world? 8 billion people. In the world of 8 billion people, one troublemaker is gone. The world is free from one troublemaker called you after enlightenment. So world has less burden. Okay, doctor has one less patient. Lord has one less account to maintain. Karmic account to maintain. All your karmic accounts are closed. All your books are burnt. All your records are closed. All your programs, false beliefs, programs are erased. You become a blessing onto yourself and the world. You become a Buddha. So Buddha says, I am not one Buddha. There were many millions of Buddhas before me, millions of Buddhas after me. Anybody whose buddhi is awakened is a Buddha. So you become a Buddha. That Gautama Buddha has to wear orange dress and beg with a begging bowl. You will be a modern Buddha, wearing spectacles, going to office. Okay, but no difference. Internally, no difference. Don't think I'll become one Swamiji tomorrow. I'll have 1,000 students. I'll start teaching. None of that will happen. If it is destined to happen, it will happen. But none of that. Enlightenment doesn't mean that. Enlightenment simply means you become free from the inner turmoil. That's it. Any other questions, Prithvi?
No more. I think that answered.
And this can happen here and now, not at sometime later in the future. This can happen here and now, provided you are ready to give up your ignorance right now. It is not that tab hoga, ab hoga. Here and now, it is a possibility. Okay. Kavin, clear?
Guruji.
Parna ji, clear है?
जी गुरुजी।
तो मन शांत हुआ है अब तक, जब से आपने anybody has any feedback to give? Has it happened? Or I'm only
Yeah.
marketing myself? Has the mind become peaceful, more and more peaceful?
Yeah, definitely, Guruji.
Are deeper questions getting answered?
Yeah, actually, so I've been listening to this for a long, at least a few months now. But then some things I hear, I don't fully understand it then. I just feel like I understand it. But then later on reflecting, it makes more sense. It starts making more sense. And I still don't know if I got the right meaning, but it makes more sense now. And another thing is, yeah, I do feel like the frequency of the thoughts, like before when I used to try to meditate or something, it used to be like just a flood of thoughts. Like it used to be like uncomfortable almost, like to do that. Now it has become easier, like not completely gone, but yeah.
Very nice. Ravi, has it helped?
Yes, for sure. The mind has become calmer, and the impulsive reactions are less frequent.
Very good.
But one thing, I mean, it in my experience is that I like I told you before, like I still try to detach or like dissociate or surrender or whatever. But again and again, I get pulled back and I start going into the old patterns, and then again I have to consciously stop myself,
See, the
and it keeps
problem
happening.
in life, you can solve a problem when you have a problem. Problem of
Right.
attachment, you can detach when you're attached. You are not even
Okay.
married. You don't even know what is suffering yet. You think
Right.
you know right now is suffering. So first you get married, okay? Start taking on responsibilities, okay? Then you suffer. Then when you ask me, okay, I want to detach, I want to be from all this. Then I
No,
have
no,
your words have value. Now your
no.
words have no value. You
No,
don't even know
Guru.
what
I
suffering is.
think I think I just make it all in my mind. I don't know if it's really a problem or not, but
So then when you get married, no, the person will clearly tell you what you're making up and what to make, what to not make, how to sit,
okay.
how to stand.
Oh
Then
my God.
then you feel, okay, now I need liberation from this. Then the true answer comes. I want freedom. You're not even
No,
bound. First you get bound.
no, I feel like I'm bound, but yeah, maybe I'm not.
That is not valid. That is only feeling. It's not real.
Right.
So all married people,
Mm.
you agree? Disagree? No? Kevin? So after you get married, so marriage is the uh, base criteria for enlightenment.
Okay. Wow.
If you are not
Right.
married, you are not eligible for enlightenment. Because
All
what
right.
do you get enlightened from?
I mean, my thoughts, right?
That is not the real suffering.
Okay.
So Osho used to joke a lot. He used to tell. So somebody asked the question, why some scriptures, some traditions say women can't get enlightened. So Osho used to tell, how can women get enlightened? How can they get enlightened? Who will drive them to enlightenment? Okay, women drive men to enlightenment. The men get fed up. Oh my God, I need liberation. That's why you see all the men only doing tapasya, going to forest and taking sannyas. It's always the men. Okay? Women, they are the one that push the men to enlightenment. How can they themselves get enlightened? Then who's going to push the men to enlightenment? So he jokes that way. Yeah, but it's everybody goes through suffering. So it's good that at a very young age you have the inclination and the craving. So all this is just kidding around. But slowly, the more you get, the more you are part of satsang, naturally the mind settles down. It's a settling of the mind. Okay. Any doubts? Pannaji, agreed?
Yeah, Guruji.
Can women get enlightened? Osho बोलते हैं women can't get enlightened. In one of the talks, not no, of course. Osho is known to contradict himself in the other talk. In one talk, he'll tell like this as a joke, and the other talk he contradicts himself. So it's just that the principle is to come to seek enlightenment, right? Somebody has seen suffering in life, or somebody sees through the absurdity of life. Either you should see the absurdity with the clarity, or you're boiling so much that you want liberation. Okay. Shall we close for the day? Any other doubts? Radhika, clear? Prithvi?
Yes. Yes, Guruji.
No doubts.
We close for the day. Asatoma, Sadgamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma, Amrutam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Ino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Ino Bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. My pranams to all. We'll take up the teaching of Atmagnana by Lord Yama in the next session. Hari Om.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om Guruji.